Hi everybody, welcome back to Honey Ridge Farm. We're planning today to do our first deep dives in the hive. It's February 25th, it's about 1:30, and we're in the mid-60s today with no wind. So we're in good shape to take a look at these hives and dive down a little deeper. So what we're gonna do is open them up. If they're up out of the bottom box, we'll put the top box down. If it's completely full, we'll put a box over top of them and go ahead and rotate. If it's not completely full, we're gonna let it fill up. I let them get to about 80%, 70-80% last year, and they never did fill that up. So we're gonna let them get completely full this year before we move them. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. I'd appreciate any love I can get, and hope you like the video today. We're gonna get in some bees, do some beekeeping. All right, we're gonna try to do this without gloves. I don't know how, most of them I think are at the house and in the garage. They got in the garage where I could get the door closed, but we're gonna try to see anything that they need and get everything perfect. I think this one's dead. I wrote it in green. This is one of my Deadouts. Yep, this one died out. I don't see a Deadout. I had a video about it, but I don't see the Deadout as a bad thing. I guess it's not a good thing, but I don't see it like most people do. If you say you didn't have any Deadouts during the wintertime, what that means to me is you've got a bunch of hives, or some hives that you've nursed, and I can get the hives to live, but if I have to nurse them, they don't make a honey crop. So it says to me that there's some hives that was nursed along and probably won't make much honey or any bees or anything. They're a constant source of work with nothing in return. So that was the first one we checked. Is I did out. I'm gonna lay this outer cover down here and set that box on it if I need to. Didn't put any fondant. I've got pollen patties made today. I went to get, I was hoping to get global pollen patties. I went up Deadouts, and all they had was AP23. I've never used that. It's a lot lighter colored pollen patty than the Ultra Bee. Ultra Bee is bright yellow. So I don't know how it's gonna work. I went ahead and mixed it, not to my own specifications. We got bees in the top and the bottom. Looking really good. But I mixed it the way they said on the package, which to me didn't have enough sugar in it, but we'll see how they take them. All right, we're gonna get down a couple of these frames, see if we got any brood or anything down in there. So usually the first few times you open them, to me, I think bees get used to you after a while. First few times you open them, they're not used to anybody being in here, so they're a little more aggressive, seems like. So we'll see how far we can get before I have to put them gloves on. I don't see any bees on this side, so I'm gonna pull out a couple of these frames first. Looks like honey down here. This hive's heavy, is why it didn't have a feeder spacer ring. Because of the weight of it. No, it's just bulged out comb. It's starting to pay a little attention to me now. I got some rubber bands in there where I put something together. Bees look good. I don't see any signs of mites on them. Don't see any signs of K-wing. They look to be healthy. This is a good heavy hive for this time of year. This hive will definitely have to be split. It's this big already. I don't expect them all to be this big. I would like to see them fill this up though, before I add any more to them. Got some yellow pollen end of that. It could be what I'm feeding down there. I think there's something else coming in. Could be, who knows, chicken feed, whatever, I don't know. There's a super frame that they added onto the bottom of this. Once again, looking for healthy bees. See where my son's at. Bees all look good and healthy. No signs of brood yet. Get off. Sometimes I put the gloves on just so I can go a little faster. Looks to be pretty much empty down here, at least so far. I'm gonna put these gloves on just so I can go a little bit faster. This hive has a lot of bees. Another super frame that they drew out to a full-size deep frame. I think they're just down here because they're so crowded, which is good. Like I say, for this time of year. A couple of hive beetles in there. I see some shiny cells, but no eggs. Try not to ever smish a bee or kill one. If there's something about killing one that causes them all to want to attack. If you smash one, they know it. And they come after you. I'm seeing all kind of pollen. Different colors of pollen too. But the bees look really good. They look really healthy. Wings all look good. I don't see any sick bees. I don't see any dark black bees, which would be a sign of problems. All these frames are, you can tell too because they're light. There's not much in them. Something's falling out. I don't know if it's bees falling off or what it is. All kind of pollen, a lot more pollen than I was expecting to see. All right, so we got a box, bottom box full of bees, but not much else in the combs anyway. Don't see any brood down here. We'll check out the top box before we decide what to do with it. These rubber bands like that mean at one time I cut out some comb from a swarm trap or something and put it back in here, and then they've glued it all in. Beeswax it all in. It's a little bit crooked, but it ain't too bad. The bottom is light, empty of honey. I can tell from that top that there's a lot of honey in that top. I still might go ahead and reverse them. I'll set it up here until I figure out if I'm gonna put it on the top box on the bottom. Honey. All the boxes are stuck together too, because it's been a while since I got in them. Try to keep them out cleaned out just to make it a little easier to work with. That's a good frame of honey and pollen. I don't know that I want to put this honey down in the bottom, so I'm probably going to leave it on top. Yeah, they're really getting riled up now. I'll check one more frame. I think I put these gloves on. Oh, there's some brood. Briefly glancing for the queen, I don't see her. But all the bees look pretty good. Everything looks good. I got brood, got a queen. I'm closing back up. Yeah, I'm gonna try to let these get a lot fuller this year than they did last year. They're like, we've been closed all winter. What are you doing? Sorry about that. They look good. I am going to give them a pollen patty. Went ahead and put these in Ziploc bags just to make them a little easier to deal with. I might come back and pick up that paper in a minute. I've got the, it's more fondant made, but it's not ready yet. I just made it, so it'll be ready tomorrow. It's supposed to be another warm day tomorrow, so I'll stick the fondant on it tomorrow. Has brood. So we used last year's color. Will you raise good bees? It's the acronym. So this year it is Kentucky Blue. Ha 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 ha. So 2025 I love. 2023 not so much. Having queens with that color on it, I'll probably have to put a blue one in there. I can't be having it. But yeah, over the years I've nursed a bunch of bees. Like I say, I can make them live, baby them to get them through and make them live, but keep records of the ones you're constantly babying, and for nothing. When you could have spent that time on a good hive that was producing and would have produced more for you instead of babying a hive that was never going to do anything. So that's just part of beekeeping as far as I'm concerned. Everybody's talking about all this colony losses and stuff. I don't know. You know, last time I was keeping bees when we had the CCD last time, and it didn't really affect as much. It did, but not as much as it did the big beekeepers. But it didn't affect the hobby guys like you and I. It affected the big guys a whole lot. And I guess nobody knows, and everybody's speculating. But my speculation and what I think it was, what I heard and talking to people was this GMO corn. They modified the corn to have the, I was gonna say this ain't got much in the top. They modified the corn to have the pesticide already in it. Genetically modified organism is GMO. And that's what a lot of people thought it was. That's what I think it was. Everybody's got their opinion, and that's mine. Was that it was GMO corn, because they changed the formulation after that and took care of it, and it went away. So as far as I'm concerned, it was GMO corn. that cause it. They do bring in, you know, there's nothing else when the corn's in, the corn pollen comes out, there's nothing else really in Kentucky that's blooming. It's a nice frame. Man, look at all those hive beetles. Golly. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a butt ton of hive beetles in here. Might have to do something about that. But yeah, I talked to a farmer, I talked to a lot of beekeepers, and then talked to some farmers, and they was talking about it, you know, and if they're putting the pesticides in it, you know, beforehand, genetically modifying it to kill bugs, what that do to us? You know, they put corn in everything. Some really good looking comb. Bees look really good. I ain't happy about all them hive beetles though. There's a bunch of hive beetles in there. So, but yeah, they changed the farmers I talked to said they changed the formula on it, and then that took care of the problem. It only lasted for a little while, it didn't continue. Now these bees need to build up, and the best thing for them to build up on or with is pollen sub. We'll have maple pollen here for too long if it keeps this warm weather up. It won't be long and the maple pollen will be coming in. But we can give them a little supplement and they'll raise more brood. You just have to be careful, especially if you're new. You just don't realize how fast they build up and how much you got to take off of them to get them back down to where they need to be. That one hive over there that was full on top and bottom, this one's actually pretty good. That's what I'm talking about on the outside. They didn't go all the way out. These bees this year, before I do honey supers or anything, are gonna fill this up. This is not good. They're stovepiping a little bit because I got 4 frames in the middle of this one and maybe 5 or so in the middle of this one. So these girls are gonna have to get this filled up. We might have to move some frames around or do some stuff to get them to do it. But these boxes are gonna be filled up before we do honey supers this year. Try to get your honey supers on as quick as possible. You know, everybody wants to be greedy and try to get as much honey as they can, and that ends up leading to problems. And that's what I did last year. Was everybody else? Oh man, hive beetles everywhere. Everybody else was putting honey supers on, so I did too, but it was actually a little early. I need to fill these out good. All right, we got some brood. We got pollen, we got healthy bees. We got pollen on bees, and we got pollen in the cells. One more frame. I say if you want to find a queen, find an area like that that's the center of the heaviest population of bees, and that's where your queen will be. It's a queen finding tip. And most of the time that works out to be true. She'll be there, she'll be on that frame or the frame on either side of it. There's one bee that's a little black on here. That one, I can deal with that. Kind of a scattered brood pattern, but definitely need to do something about these hive beetles. There's a bunch of them. All right, I've got everything I need to see. I'd like to see the queen, but I don't want to disturb them anymore. So we might put a patty in between them two. Let's put some cuts in it. Like that, did I? Right down in there. All right, I think I got enough room to work. I think. Oh. It was weird last year. I remember talking about it now, but it was weird that these, I don't know what it means, but the left hive on all these stands, that's where my weak hives were last year, and that's where my deadouts are this year, is my left hive. I got these on my two-way pallets, and the right hives are all doing great, and the left hives were weak last year and have passed on this year. Somebody explain that to me. Why is the right hives doing better than the left hives? I've got a wood line over here which could be part of it, so the flyway is on the right side for the main part, so they could be drifting and coming into the right side of each of the stands. I know I've seen them come into the end of the row, drift into the, last hive on the row will have more, but I don't know that I've seen it where it was the right hive on each stand before. Yeah, this one's still got some fondant left. Not much, but it's got it. Briefly check them out a little bit. Got good color to them, wings look good, abdomens look good, no black bees. No hive beetles that I can see. So they look pretty good. I guess they just drifted over from the right, the left side. I don't know. Might be a reason not to use two-way pallets if they're going to drift like that. Now this one, there's not much in the bottom. We might go ahead and rotate this one if it looks like what it looks like. And if all that comb is good. This is a perfect time if you're going to change out boxes. To go ahead and add a new box or add new comb, or if you got a bunch of black comb, it's really black. These are dark, but they're serviceable. But there's nothing, no brood down here, so it doesn't hurt to rotate this one. We probably should have been cleaning off these bottom boards too as we go. There's probably some dead bees on them. I have to be careful, but I'm gonna go ahead and put that feeder rig down here because I don't want to put their feet all the way at the top. Make them come get it if it gets cold again. You get that fondant that fell off. They eat most of it. And we'll give them on these pollen. AP23. Said what that stood for. It's 23rd. It's like WD-40. 40th attempt. It was 23rd attempt. I can't remember what the AP stood for. P is pollen. I don't remember what the A was for. We're just gonna put that down in there. Give them some sugar source so we can get back out here with that. Get back out here with the fondant patties. We'll let them chew on that pollen patty for a little bit. See how that does. That box wouldn't actually have to go on there since this one ain't completely full. It don't have anything in it. I think I'm gonna leave it off for now. Now there's nothing in this box. This one ain't completely full. If I put that other box on there, they wouldn't do it right away, but they wouldn't. I want them to get these other two frames filled out good before I start adding them to them. So doing a little bit different from last year. So we'll go ahead and stop there with that. Put that on them. We always give them airspace, summer and winter. I want that air to be able to flow through the bottom, in through the bottom, out through the top. I like ventilation instead of insulation. That's the way I like it. I like it a lot. All right, these two, see if I left one on this one's doing bad too. It didn't, well, it says almost dead on the right one. Maybe the left one's doing good on this one. Now there was 3 in a row with the dead one on the left side. And now we got a weak one on the right side. Hopefully it's still going, but we'll see. This one didn't have a feeder rig on it because it's doing so good without it. I doubt they got much down here, but we'll look. You know, we bred out for a long time. We bred out the propolis. Any bees that would propolis a hive, we bred them out. Now we're finding out that it's antibacterial and breeding it back in, which is good. But man, it sure makes these hives hard to deal with. Yeah, that ain't nothing. Nothing in here. Sure was nice. When we didn't have it as much, it was easier to get everything out and moved around. Didn't have to scrape as much. Now you got to scrape the crap out of everything. Yeah, this one don't have anything in it. That one's almost full. I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I think I'm just gonna take this box off. Put this frame back in it. Always, another tip is always put your frames back in. A lot of times we leave a frame out, I put that right back in. I'll bring it back up here tomorrow. Put that frame back in there. Nope, you won't. Ask me how I know. Doesn't happen. All right, so we got our box. We got some of that propolis off there. Yeah, all these hives were, none of them were bought. All of them were from swarms. Were from splits from hives that I'd caught with swarm traps or swarms, or actual swarm trap catches or swarm catches. So they still got some room they can fill up. Can't see it very well, can you? They still got some space they can fill up over here. So that's what I'm gonna let them do. I'm gonna leave that other box off of them because there ain't nothing in it. I'm gonna let them fill this box up good. I'll just have to watch them close. As soon as I get it good and full, then I'll put another one on it. We're gonna put, I got some extra feeder rings. We're gonna put them out here. Kind of break that up a little bit so I can get to it and put it where most of the bees are and then cover it up. So today's the 25th, and whenever I make another video out here, you'll be able to see what's left and how long it's been. I don't think it'll take them too long, but I haven't used that AP23 before. All right, let's see if this one's dead or not. It's almost dead. Why didn't I put some feed on it? I think it was pretty much dead. I think it's just got some remnant bees or some robbers. Yeah, that's why it's pretty much, it's got some live bees in it, but they're kaput. I'll come back and get them and then clean them up and use those frames on other hives. All right, these last two down here, I think they're doing okay. Shooting fire out of them. I have to get me some grass or something put in here. All right, the first sign of problems you have when you put feed on here is if they're not taking it, and these aren't. And there's a lot of honey on here too. They're heavy. There's nothing in the bottom, so we're gonna go ahead and take it off. There's something about bees, we talked about it before, in that bees they don't like a lot of extra space. It's not good for them to have extra space, but they don't like a lot of extra space either. They'll do better if you give them less space. Know why? Don't know the reason behind it, but that's just the way bees are. So hopefully we start getting some maple stuff in, and these will take off and not kick the bucket. Maybe they just need a little dash of pollen. Keep our feed as close to the brood, as close to where the bees are on top of the hive. That way when it gets cold, they can still access it. See what our smoker looks like. Burn up some of it. If I smoke it too much, it'll start shooting flames up. So I'm gonna find something else to put in it real quick. All this stuff is wet, which is fine. It's just gonna be a filter for smoke. A fire filter the fire. All right, there's some wet leaves on top of it. All right, this one is on the end of the row. These always seem to do better. This one I think is doing really good. Needs probably another inner cover, because all the propolis we have now. A hive beetle. All right, this is gonna be the last one we check. This is what you want them to look like. This hive there's no need to get into it. This hive is doing good. I don't need to disturb them. And this hive will should make at least 2 splits and maybe 3 and still make a honey crop with all these bees in the bottom and the top. We'll see what they do. I don't see any signs of mites or viruses. I don't see any sick bees, shaking bees, black bees, bad wing bees, K-wing bees, crimpled wing bees. So I think they're doing good. You got to watch your strongest hives because they're the ones that'll have, if they have problems, that's the ones that'll have it. I always think, well, that hive's strong. I don't have to worry about it much. It's so strong. It's doing good. No, that's the ones you need to watch. That'll be the one the mites get. Man, you didn't let me bump that, did I? Calm down. Get some of that propus out for next time. Every time we get in here, I try to clean it up a little bit and make my next trip in a little bit easier. All right, that's good. We're gonna go and use this feeder ring that was sitting here and not being used. We'll put a pollen patty on it. Escort. And put our lid on, and we're done with this row. So these hives have been checked and are good to go. All right, that about do it for today. I still got I'd like to get through the rest of these in this yard, and then get the other 2 yards tomorrow, hopefully. We'll see what happens. But it kind of shows it's good, the bad, and the ugly. So we've lost some. And then there's some that's going to make probably 2 or 3 splits. So we'll more than make it up. We'll increase our numbers, but it's always a give and take in beekeeping. You're always going to lose some hives. There's always going to be one to have a queen problem, a mite problem, some kind of issue. If you haven't had any problems in beekeeping, if you haven't lost any hives, you ain't been beekeeping long enough. You're going to have issues, and most of the time you'll have a major issue or two. So you keep bees long enough, you're going to have some stuff that you never anticipated happen. That's just the way it is. Everybody I know that's been in it for a long time has had things happen like that. It's just, like I say, it's just beekeeping. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe below. If you got any comments, leave them below. Hit the notification button, and I'll try to answer all your questions, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.